Final daily quest of the week, and these daily quests will help us to prepare for our quiz, which is probably today for you if you're watching this video, so I'll try to keep it nice and short for you. So we're writing out these numbers as we say them out loud. So the first number would be 100. Whoops, 100, there we go. 2 for our wholes, and 5/10, because we are in the first decimal place. 5/10. If I wrote that as a fraction, it would be 102 and 5/10, just like this. For the next problem, this will be 2 wholes and 88. Whoops, well, I don't know why I'm writing like that all of a sudden. And 88 hundredths. If I wrote that as a mixed number, it'd be 2 and 88 hundredths, just like this. For our last problem, we actually don't have a whole number, so this one is just 85 hundredths, which should be just written as the decimal 85 hundredths. There we go. Let's do our story problems. Duncan has decided to work at Dunkin' Donuts for obvious reasons. He makes $6.75 every hour, and he worked for 4.5 hours yesterday. How much money did he make in total? So in total means that we're getting bigger than what we started with, and it looks like we have every hour, so this is a multiplication problem. Now what's important is 4.5 hours as a decimal is 4 5/10. So when we multiply, we will have this as our multiplication problem. There are 1, 2, 3 total digits behind the decimal point. So we erase our decimals, and we have 3 digits behind the decimal point when we are done. And now we just multiply like normal. So it's 33. We're done with the ones column, so we add a 0 into our ones column because we're now multiplying by the tens column. So 20, 28, this is 30, 24, so this is 27. So now we have 3 digits behind the decimal point when we're done, which means our decimal has to go here. Now here's the problem, is Duncan made, if we write this, we are mathematically incorrect because money only has 2 decimal places. So we have to round to the hundredth column. Because the digit after the 7 is a 5, we are halfway between 37 hundredths and 38 hundredths. So we're going to round up to 38 hundredths, which means since we are rounding, Duncan made about $30 and 38 hundredths, or $30.38. So that's about as tough as multiplication can get. Samantha is still working on starting that babysitting business. Yesterday, she made a total of $6.75 and worked for a total of 9 hours. How much did she make every hour? So this time, we are starting with the total and we're getting smaller, or 9 times smaller, which means we are doing division. So $60.75 divided by 9. Now we look at our divisor and we ask ourselves, does our divisor have a decimal place in it? Which it does not. So we can move our digit up here and divide like normal. So largest number of groups would be, should be 6. 6 groups. So this will be 54. So we subtract, we get 6 here, and we bring down our next digit, which is 7. So this will now be 7 groups, so that'll be 63. We bring down our last digit. It's 5. And so we are at exactly $6.75 with nothing left over. So Sam made $6.75 every hour. Done. 2 left. Mr. Schmidt is a really cool guy. I don't know why you guys are laughing. That's not a joke. Because he's awesome, he brings in 80 candy bars to split with his advisory. So split tells us we're probably doing some division here. His advisory has 12 people in it, so we're probably dividing by 12. Rounding to the nearest hundredth, 2 decimal places. How much does each person get if everyone gets the same amount? So we are dividing 80 divided by 12. And this tells me that we're probably going to have a decimal for an answer, so I do my strategy of just adding my 3 zeros right away. So now, before we do any division, I like to write out my groups of 12. So that's 12 one group, group of 2, group of 3, group of 4, group of 5, group of 6. If we need more groups, we can go from there. So it looks like we have 6 groups can fit into 80 without going over. From here, I subtract. So once again, it'll be 6 groups. Once again, 72. And I bring my digit down, and it looks like we found ourselves a repeating decimal. Yep, looks like we got ourselves a repeating decimal. So we got to make sure we round correctly. So we needed to round to the hundredths place, which is the second decimal. So I look at the decimal place after, which is 6. That makes us closer to 67 hundredths than 66 hundredths, so we're going to round up. So each person gets about, because we're rounding, 6 67 hundredths of a candy bar. There we go. Last problem. A construction company made a total of $480.50 today. There were 4 people working. So we've done this problem a lot. If everyone made the same amount, how much would everyone have made? So this is the problem that has a lot of division in it. So we need to divide $480.50. This time we're dividing by 4. You might be able to hear my cat in the background, who is very hungry. So we have no decimal in this place, so we need to move our decimal place up and then divide it like normal. So one group fits into the 4 without going over. 2 4s can fit into the next digit without going over. Now the next digit is a 0, so that means that 0 4s can fit into this one. So our next digit is a 5, where 1 4 can fit in without going over. So now we have an issue at the end here, because we have a remainder of 2. So when we are working with decimals, we can always add more zeros behind the decimal place, because that does not change the value of our problem, which will bring a 0 down here. So then we get a 5. But once again, we're working with money. Money always rounds to that second decimal place. So I'm going to round up to 13 hundredths. So everyone makes about, because we rounded, $120.13. Good luck on your